you have rights to your life. No? I believe that, I'm not sure, but I believe that food, house, I don't know. Health. I'm not sure if the international human rights or not, but Brazil is one of, I completely sure about these rights, but the international, I'm not sure, but the life is a right, human.
Perfect. And you, Alexandre, can you mention some examples of human rights?
I think Ricardo is correct in what he said. Food, clean water, house to live, the minimum necessary to the human beings being proud to be in this world. It's describing human rights. Okay. More than that, but it's the minimum.
That's true. I guess having the enough to live should be a right for everyone, right? Because we know that people, they starve, né, to death, as pessoas morrem de fome. Não it should be a right, but it isn't. So I think everything that is necessary for us to live should be a right, né? Tudo que é necessário para a gente viver, acho que deveria ser direito of human rights.
The Constitution say that everyone is equal and they deserve the same. It's not all the time it's 100% right, because some people have more than they need, and some people have nothing to eat, no medicine, no school. But the Constitution says that everyone is equal. It's the kind of human rights. The proper Constitution is saying that you are like me, and you and me and Ricardo, we have the same rights to do everything, but we can't stand the law, only in the limit of the Constitution.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's go to question number 2. How does the law protect human rights? So, Ricardo, how does the law protect human rights?
I believe that the law could be just a portion of words in a paper. The most important thing is the human rights are being, what do you say, accomplishment, I don't know if exists, or are being attended. So I believe not. I was watching a video, and there are some rights that I understand a little, not completely certainly, but I understand a little. For example, houses. It's not exactly easy to provide houses for every people, but food is not so difficult. And then I'm not sure, but I was on TV that in a post from Elon Musk, there are surges discussion about according the ONU or FAO, it's possible to solve the hunger issue if you waste 6 billion I'm not sure, dollars or reais. And the Elon Musk told, okay, I could pay, but I wanted to receive all guarantees that this money is being reach these people. And then, according to the news, the ONU don't give or tell that's not possible to provide this documentation or something like that. So there are some situations that's weird, but it sounds like another's interest. Maybe there are some people don't could become rich from these guys. I'm not sure if you could be a, how do you say, conspiracy theory. I'm not sure. But essentially, I believe that is a problem that could be solved. If every person give food for someone, I believe that is good. Maybe not completely solved, but decrease a lot. And if you just could provide some food for a person.
I've seen this thing of Elon Musk that he said that if they had a plan to end the hunger, he would give the money. But I know I don't know if it's true or not, of course. But I
Yeah.
also know that like it's hard for ONU to guarantee him how the money would approach all of these people. For
I'm not
example,
sure.
yeah, I don't know, because there are a lot of people who starve, right? Tem muita gente que passa fome. Então, assim, I don't know if it's possible or not. So I also know I also try to think of the other side. But of course, I don't think Elon Musk is that good heart as well. So I don't know. I don't have an opinion about that, like, formed. And for you, Alexandre, how does the law protect human rights?
In my opinion, the law can protect the human rights, defend them when they commit crime or when they are denounced about something they did. And you have the public ministry to defend poor people in a court, right? The rich people has which lawyers to defend them, and others not. It's the kind of the human rights fail in this situation, right? Because imagine a person that is defending himself from the situation he is convicted, like Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro has 3 or 4 lawyers defending him, right? And a poor person don't, because it depends on money. It depends how to say, vontade, the will of the government, of how the government around the world try to give more attention to a miserable people, right? About the feed people around the world, all the people, could be possible if all the government could all get together to give them to food, because we threw in the trash around the world billions of tons of food. This food could be given for a lot of people that don't have it, but the government is not worried about that. Government is worried about himself or the people that he defends.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right?
that's also true. Like just like Ricardo said about Elon Musk, but even if he gave the money, they need to have the support from the governments, right? Like because they can't give directly to a person who is starving, because there are a lot. So they need to give to a government, I think. So they need to be supportive to this action, and I don't think they will do that. So it's complicated, right?
The problem is this: they can give tons of money for government to. Imagine that Lula sent $1 billion to Rio de Janeiro to be used helping poor people. Do you agree that this money will be used to help people? The money will be used for other situation. So you can, if you give money to a government to care about people, they should have some people to, how do I say, make some fiscalizations if it's going the same like we deserve.
Perfect. So let's go to question number 3. Do you think some human rights are more important than others? If so, why? So, Ricardo, do you think some human rights are more important than others?
It's easier. Life is the most important. The situation in Brazil is the same, in my opinion, when you talk about another's rights, for example, education, or health, or house. I believe that is okay. Education is important. It's necessary. Even food. Not the food, because food is life is similar in this case. But about when I walk on the streets, I think some situations. Okay, education is important. Oh, okay, it could solve this problem in the future, but now I needed to survive. So in this case, it's necessary you receive safety. And unfortunately, in Brazil is not a good place to live in this topic. So is an analysis. It sounds like the same situation, but in other topic, human rights. I believe that life is the most important.
Perfect. Okay. And you, Alexandre, do you think some human rights are more important than others?
I think all the human rights are important. All the food is important, water is important, clean water, house to live, school to protecting the black people, the LGBT people. The human rights is between all this situation, right? If you accept human rights in your heart, you need to be good to everyone you see around you or in your city or inside the flight or the bus or in a stage. You need to respect human rights. Talk about respect. If you respect someone, you can give them the minimum that he needs to survive. Like I think some government don't respect the poor, don't care about the poor people. They care about only the rich people. You know this. We have the examples here in the past. It's difficult to handle the situation because human rights can't help everyone around the world. They are working hard to do that. There are money enough to do that, but people don't make donation. There is not a little donor like Elon Musk can don $1 billion. But where's the other billionaire? Right? They don't care about Africa, about Ghana. His people is in meio the war, the internal war. It's difficult to handle. But the rights is the same for everyone, not only for white people, but for Black people as well, for LGBT as well, right? Even when you are going to work in a company, you, Giovanna, and a Black girl is going to work there. Do you agree that the employee will choose the black girl? It's difficult to people accept that everyone has the same rights. It's difficult, but should be everyone has the same rights, the same view as a human being.
Perfect. I agree with both of you. I think life is the most important human right because we can't kill each other, right? So I think it's the most important one. But also I think the rest are all the same. I think everybody has the right to work, has the right to have a good life. I think this is our right. Not a good life, but a survival type of life. Like you have the appropriate food to eat, the proper water to drink, a proper place to live. I think everybody should have this. So I think they are all important. And of course, I totally agree with you, Alexandre. It's harder for minority to have their place, right? And we can see that with wars. People talk a lot of the war between Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine and Russia, but people don't talk a lot of Palestine and Israel or like the wars in Africa, but because they are still happening a lot, that they are happening before the war in Ukraine, but people don't talk a lot about them because
the situation in Afghanistan is horrible. The woman can't go to school. Imagine the woman can't go to school to learn the minimum necessary to write her name, their names, but they can't go to university. In the Saudi Arabia, there are a lot of discrimination for women, right? In some countries, African countries, there are a lot of people hungry, starving for minimal food, right? And maybe you can donate something for them, but you don't. Every time the TV is calling us to donate something for people, you see it every day. Even some person is calling, donate for people, donate for ACNUR, for ONU refugees. But people don't do that. You should donate. Like I donate R$2 per day to an ONU refugee. I know it's nothing. It's like, but if everyone donates R$1 to for them, they could have a better life, right? But it's inside our hearts. We are egoist when we talk about money, right? we think the money is for only for us, but if we could give some money for other, or food for other, right? Eu não sei a palavra incentivar.
Just, I guess you can say support or incentivate.
Support. I support my kid as in action and in words, saying that they have to
encourage. That's true.
Encourage. All my kids, my 3 kids, they have the same view of me because they learn it to me. If someone asks you for something, if you can do it, do. Because imagine this: if you are hungry, you have food in the fridge, and you are hungry, so you go to eat. Maybe you have some clothes in your house that you are not using anymore. You can give it for someone, right? This kind of situation that we could do every day, and we give up to do.
That's true. It happens a lot. But I guess it's something that it's becoming more common to people think more of themselves and not other people. So like, I am not hungry, so I guess nobody is. And I know it's a thinking that it's not common, but for example, kids, they don't have this thinking, someone else is hungry. Criança não tem esse pensamento, não. E aí, então, uma coisa tem que ser explicada pelos pais, né? It's something that needs to be explained through parents, right?
But I remember a situation when I was having a lunch with my kids. It was the Father's Day, right? And then we went to the restaurant in Jardim da Penha. It's outside. The restaurant is outside the sidewalk. And then we ordered a lot of food: barbecue, pião tropeiro, rice, and a lot of food. And then when we finished eating the food, but there was a lot of food in your table. And then a woman appears with 3 or 4 kids, and they asked us could you give this food for us? And then I looked for my kids because it was my day, and I was thinking about this. Will then condemn me if I give? But my daughter, it was 12. I think she was 12 or 13. She said, "You will not let this woman go away without this food, right?" And then everyone agreed, but the garçon, the waiters, didn't agree with us. But we asked him to give us a little piece of, I don't know, utility to put food, and then we put all the food in the utility, and then we give for her. But after that, the waiter said, if you do it every day, they will come here every day, and our restaurant will be full of hungry people, right? We were condemned by the waiters.
Yes, some restaurants, they don't like this. I've seen a lot of restaurants that they don't like this, and I think it's not right, because what they're going to do with that food? Throw away? So like, you can give to other people. I don't see a lot of sense on that, but I know it happens. So let's go to question number 4. In your opinion, which countries have poor human rights records? We mentioned some of them here, like in Middle Eastern, right? No Oriente Médio, that women can go to school or something like that, universities. So let's see. Ricardo, in your opinion, which countries have poor human rights records?
I don't know, but I'm not sure which country Could you repeat each
Of
country?
course. In your opinion, which countries have poor human rights records? Like you know that they are not related to human rights. They are not as good as they should be. Like Qatar, for example.
Well, I believe that the most part of our world that are poor human rights. But I could mention some countries, Brazil and the neighbors. I could tell Venezuela or Brazil, even Brazil. I believe that is, I don't know, according to ONU, and there are a lot of documents telling about Venezuela and or even you could note there are, I believe that's 200,000 million inhabitants from this country cross the border and arrive in Brazil. And according to some news from, not news, but according to some documents from ONU, it's more than 6 million people go out from Venezuela to another countries. So Venezuela has around 26 million inhabitants. So in this case, it's so much relevant. And there are reporters was as prisoners, and a lot of people was killed, and so it's so sad. And then another countries like how do you say? I forgot the name in Portuguese. It's difficult to tell in English. And it's not Guatemala. It's I believe that I forgot it's a Central America country too. I forgot the name. And how do you say? There is a country on South. I forgot the name. Have a word cake on a couple of years ago. Forgot the name. And the Civil War too. I could mention this.
Perfect. Yeah, indeed, there are a lot of countries with poor human rights records, right? Because human rights, we need to think that they are not only what we have on a paper, but also how the country deals with the people. Just like you got said in the beginning, right? They're not a bunch of words in a paper. It's how people are treated, right? And that's true.
Yeah.
In a lot of countries, people are not treated the way they should be, right? And for you, Alexandre, in your opinion, which countries have poor human rights records?
Lots of countries, né? Myanmar, Iraq, Afghanistan, Venezuela, Guatemala. And a lot of people in the Central America, people is going bad towards, and they are trying to flee to the Mexican border to the United States to enter in the United States. And people is fleeing for food, about to have food, to have minimum conditions to live. But in Europe, there are a lot of the countries in this situation. Turkey, although the Turkey is the rich country, they not have the equality to other for the news, for the people, for the lawyers. They try to kill, to arrest all these people that raise their hand against the government. Right? In Russia is a good example of a lack of human rights for everything. In Russia, situation is very, very bad too. If people is gay or kind of LGBT, they can be killed in the street, and the people applauding because the government not accept it. If you applauding, you will be good with the policeman, but if you complain, you can be arrested together. So a lot of people, a lot of countries in Africa, the situation about human rights is worse.
That's true. I remember this thing of being gay in Russia during the World Cup, the last World Cup before this one.
Yeah.
There were some people there with the Pernambuco flag, and Pernambuco flag is
Yes.
colorful. And then the guys thought it was the LGBT flag or something related to that. And the guys, they had a huge problem there because of the flag of Pernambuco. So they are really like strict related to LGBT community. You can't you can't be gay there. And it's like a crime. And I think it's not right, of course, right? It's not right.
But after that situation, Qatar is opening the border to receive, to improve the tourism in the area. They are opening the border to LGBT people after the World Cup. I read the news that they are opening the border to, you can go there, you can sightsee there, but you can respect the law, right? It's, of course, you go to the Qatar, if you see someone, you think someone is gay, or they're couple gay, man or woman, they can't be arrested because the Qatar is allowing them to go. But they need to respect the law and behave like the people in Qatar.
Yeah, there are a lot of rules. They can demonstrate effects on the street, but they even like straight couples, they can't do that there. So it's a really strict country, and if you're there, you need to follow some rules, right? You're there, so let's go to question number 5. Are you aware of any famous discrimination cases? Nowadays, we have a lot of them. Recently, we had the Vinicius Junior case, right? I don't know if you have heard of this thing, but that soccer player, Vini Junior, he suffered racism during a soccer game and a soccer match. And there are a lot of famous cases of discrimination. I mentioned this one. Let's see if you remember others. Ricardo, are you aware of any famous discrimination cases?
Let me check if you... There are a lot of, but right now maybe there is a famous that occurs in the Carrefour supermarket. Let me check if this. There is another prejudice famous case in Portugal. The kid Giovanna Elbach daughter. I believe that I could mention 2 cases, but certainly there are a lot of, not exactly about racism, but a lot of different cases. So I could mention 2.
this one from Giovanna's Eubank daughter, it was really famous because she argued with the woman. Esse ficou bem famoso, né? Que ela começou a brigar com a moça lá. It was really famous. I forgot about this one.
I guess every time when they go abroad, they face some kind of discrimination in their hotels around the world. Right?
No, it's really it's
Meghan
unusual.
Markle was the greatest example of the human rights discrimination. You can see the series about Harry and Meghan on Netflix. There are six seasons, six chapters, and England show for the world they were the community, health community, Commonwealth community. A lot of 53 countries in the Commonwealth community, and the majority of these countries is Black people. But when the Black woman went to marry a relative for the royal family, they discriminate her. She faced a lot of discrimination because she was Black, right? Even because she had a baby, when she had the baby, the male baby, she didn't show for the news, the British news, the baby. Então, so the British news showed the couple leave the hospital, hand the monkey in the couple, hand the monkey, the baby monkey, right? Mas there was a monkey, really, a couple casal saindo do hospital carregando um bebê, um macaco, carregando não, segurando a mão do macaquinho e saindo. It's kind of discrimination she faced. People maybe think she make wrong to step away from the royal family, but she faced a lot of discrimination in like other people around the world. A lot of Black players like Vinicius Junior, other Daniel Alves received people was throwing banana in the right in the how do you say campo?
Court or field, soccer field.
Yeah, soccer field. So do you remember that people was throwing banana in the?
I remember.
Because Daniel Alves played like a lateral player. So it was near the people, the people in the watching the play, and they was throwing bananas. In America, you have a lot of discrimination. Martin Luther King was the most discriminated people in America. I remember other people that was killed because he was Black, famous people. Martin Luther King was very famous pastor and politician in America, and he was killed because that situation.
Yeah. There are a lot of situations, and mostly with not only with Black people, but like immigrants or gay people. Of a lot, every minority they have a discrimination case in their community. But there was one famous that we didn't mention that happened. I guess it was 2020 when George Floyd died.
George Floyd.
All of you remember it, like United States stopped because of that. So it was a huge discrimination case, right? The guy died, so of course it's crazy.
I didn't mention for George Floyd because he wasn't famous. He became famous after he died.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
But a lot of
famous
people face discrimination every day because they are black.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And it's so sad, right? The world has evolved and people still do that. So let's go to question number 6. Do you think there is more discrimination now than in the past? Let's see. Ricardo, what do you think? There is more discrimination now or in the past?
In the past, certainly.
Why?
Nowadays improve. Certainly, we don't reach ideal, I could be level, a good level, but certainly we don't think much about this situation, but the world improve a lot in each kind of topic. It's about provide food, provide human rights, or wars, any kind of topic. Certainly, there is a book, but unfortunately, I forgot the Bill Gates indication, but I forgot. And they tell a lot of reasons that our world is a better place nowadays. And there is, I agree if some people, because there is a no safe situation, because you could note countries like, I don't know, Monaco, or how do you say, Canada, or another countries, because it's so wonderful place. And for other hand, you could tell India or even Brazil, that's so different situations. But essentially, our words improve a lot.
Perfect. Yeah, I will tell my opinion later, but I partially agree with you. Anyway, Alexandre, do you think there is more discrimination now or in the past?
In the past, I agree with Ricardo, because Ricardo mentioned Canada. Canada is a big word, delicious word to live now, as in the past, in the 19th century, the Catholic priests in Canada, they killed more than 1,000 Indians, girls and boys. And a few years ago, 2 years or less, they find a lot of people, how do you say, caveiras,
Bones.
on bone under the yards, the Catholic yards in North Canada. Canada was one of the account that was discriminate Indians. Brazil, in the past, made a practice traffic of slavery. The slaves could not eat the same food that their owners was eating. They was going to the church, but they couldn't understand the missal was prayed in Latin, for them not understand what was right in the Bible. So why the missal was prayed in Latin in the past? Because for the slave not understand. And a lot of discrimination that people didn't know that was discrimination. A lot of phrases that people, a coisa tá preta, or só uma uma invejinha branca, something like that. Now you can't do that. You see, because everyone is paying attention in this situation, in denouncing the situation. But now we care more than the past about the situation. The past, I remember that's I will tell it in the ahead, but because I have an answer for the question ahead. I remember a lot of discrimination for slavery. There was treated as animal in the past. Now you can fight some discrimination yet, but not like in the past.
I agree with you guys. I think like in the past there were more discrimination. That's totally true. But I think that in the past people didn't know that it was wrong. People think it was wrong.
Yeah. In the past, it's not normal.
Yeah. And like colonization was normal, to kill indigenous people, to kill black people, to make them slaves. It was normal. They didn't think it was wrong. Nowadays, everyone knows it's wrong. Everyone knows that we can't harm other people, and they still do that. Of course, it's hard to see some extreme cases like slavery or kill someone else because of their color or their race. But we see cases of discrimination, and people, of course, they know it's wrong, and they still do that. So there were more in the past, but nowadays I think people do that knowing it's wrong. So again, I don't think it's worse, because of course slavery is terrible, but I think relating to our character, né, nosso caráter, is even worse, né? Porque quando você faz uma coisa sabendo que tá errado, é muito pior, né? Para o seu caráter, né? Não em questão de tipo para a sociedade, né? But that's it. Alexandre, you can tell us your experience, because I need to end our immersion. So tell us the experience, the answer for question 7. I won't ask you question 7, não vou perguntar por causa do tempo, então.
7.
Que você falou que ia ter uma resposta para ela, aí pode falar, porque eu não vou perguntar a ela.
How the experience, can you share the experience you...
Que você falou que você tinha experiência.
Yes, in my 8th grade, I was in the 8th grade. We was receiving diploma from the 8th grade. And then in my class, there was a black boy, a very black boy, so black. And we made an amicus. Everyone needs to leave something to give for his or her amicus. And then this black boy received, imagine what he received. I don't know how to say this. Uma penca de banana. Right? I remember when he opened something was wrapped, and then inside was a big penca de banana. So it made me so sad, because in that exact moment I was experiencing discrimination. God, I didn't know. I think it was in 1977 when I had degree. In that exact moment, I realized that black people were treated like monkey. And after that, I come to Vitória to work. And was working in the Banco do Estado do Espírito Santo. And as we are working in the general direction, I was working in a 6th level in the general direction. The employee could invite someone to make a small test and work as internal. We could present someone to work as an internal. And then I invite this boy to come to Vitória. I have opportunity for you to be internal in Banesh. Do you want? He said, I want. And then he came. When he went to do the test in my room, everyone looked to him. Oh my gosh, why this black guy boy is here? Because I invited him. And then he worked in as interno for a while, and then he made a test to be employee, and then he became Banesh employee. This situation happened to me. I faced it. I tried to solve it. I solved the part of him to have a good work, but it happened. It's made me so sad in this time.
Of course, when we see a case of injustice, we feel sad, right? So
Yeah.
that's it.
But when you see something like that, you have to take action.
Of course.
Yeah.
You need to
A
say
minimum
something.
action, some words that you say for, oh, you are committing a crime. You can do that. Right? All that, not fighting or offending other, no. You need to take your action. Every day, we need to change the situation because it's happening every day.
That's true. Perfect. So guys,